Hey sweet friends, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be back on YouTube in 2021. I took a much needed break, a few weeks off, and just had a ton of family time, which was just exactly what I needed. I wanted to come back all refreshed and feel really motivated and inspired. So I have a ton of new content coming your way that I cannot wait to get out. I am working on some new Valentine decor ideas that will be out later this week, but I wanted to just jump back in and share with you guys my top 10 projects. These are all gorgeous projects that I just love so much and always feel so inspired after watching them. But make sure you say hello down in the comments. I miss talking to you all so much. And then also let me know what videos you would love to see for 2021. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and let's go ahead and jump on into the video. My number one project for this video by far were these farmhouse lights or sconces. I loved these too. They were just super simple to put together. It cost less than $5, but just look really beautiful. And I made these using the Dollar Tree garden dishes, these little plastic bowls that you're supposed to put like little fake plants or something in, but they were just a perfect shape. They had kind of like the globe shape already, so that's what really inspired me for this project. And these were super simple. I did have to go to Hobby Lobby to get a couple of these wooden circles, but they still are very inexpensive. They just made this project a lot more sturdy using the other Dollar Tree items. So I did use 2 of the plant hooks, and I used the screws that came with them. So this was super simple. Like, I didn't have to go out and find the hardware or anything. Just crazy simple. I put all of this together. I did have to use a drill to drill in the screws, and then I was able just to hot glue that globe. It was so lightweight. I did need some more surface area, so I did use some jumbo popsicle sticks and really secured that down because this is going to be hanging on a wall. But this is just a great alternative versus the very expensive farmhouse lights or sconces that you see everywhere. After these lamps or lights were all put together, I did take them outside and spray them with some matte black spray paint. I do love the Rust-Oleum brand the best, especially on like a large plastic piece like this. It just really stays on there and doesn't scratch off. For mine, I did go the cheap route and just added in some Dollar Tree push lights. I won't have these turned on all the time, but it will be nice to go over there and just kind of click them on. But if you wanted to up your game, I know they sell little lights on Amazon that have remotes, and those would be really awesome in there. And that way you kind of wouldn't be touching on them because they are like cheaper made. But this was a really awesome project to make. I was actually a little hesitant to use the plant hook at first, but after you get them on the wall, you cannot tell, and they just look so beautiful. And I love them hanging on either side of a picture or even on both sides of the bed. This is just a really, really fun farmhouse project. Another one of my top projects were these laundry room signs. I made these in a set of 3 that looked really good together. I didn't paint them exactly the same, so I think it's really cool how they have a lot of contrast to them. But these did really, really good. You guys seem to love them. I love using these little boxes. Dollar Tree puts these out for like every season, so I'm sure you'll be able to find signs this size. I love how it has like this thick wooden edges that whenever you flip it around backwards, it does look like it is a framed little sign. So I am painting it to look like the frame is wooden, and then I'll be able to decorate the middle of the sign. I did use like a light beige color and then dry brush over that with the dark brown and sand on that, and you get more of like a realistic looking wood that way, so it looks really, really good. And then for one of them, I painted the inside white, and then I did go ahead and paint the other 2 black. And what inspired this project were those new little laundry decals that Dollar Tree came out with. They were so fun to use. I love them so much, and you guys really seem to enjoy using them too, and I love seeing everything that you made. So thank you to everyone for sharing. And these wall decals just make it so easy to make beautiful high-end looking crafts because you're not having to freehand that, so it already is just super easy to kind of peel and stick that sticker on there. I think projects look so much nicer whenever you mix up different fonts and stickers. For this, I was able to paint one of the number stickers from Dollar Tree to get that large 5, but then the other stickers are either from Walmart or Hobby Lobby, but I love checking out all the different stores, letter stickers, and picking out my favorite fonts because I do like to mix them. And then for the last little block, this was my hands down favorite one of these, but I just cut out a little t-shirt pattern out of just an old cardboard, like a candy box or something, and then I trace it on a piece of cardstock because I want this to be solid white. I did flip the shirt over so it would be as symmetrical as possible because I did just freehand this. I cut it out, put a little stitching around it, but the cutest thing of this little block or sign was that I made my own little hanger. I always keep this wire on hand, and you can find wire like this in rolls at a lot of different stores. I picked this up at like a hardware store, but I shaped it into the shape of a hanger, and I used to use this wire all the time on like door hangers and signs that I made and sold, so it's just really handy to keep, and it's like easy enough to work with, but it does keep its shape. So I glued that down on the sign and then put the little shirt on top of it, and I think it looked adorable. I love how it just has so many different materials and things used to give it a lot of different texture. My high-end videos did awesome last year, and I know you guys really enjoyed this project. And these are the little dollar glass square containers that we passed at Dollar Tree for years and years and years, and I never really picked them up because I've just always seen them and I just think they're old news. But these can be transformed into gorgeous little planters that actually look like they're kind of like cement or concrete or ceramic. But I loved using these. So I cut down styrofoam to fit down inside of these and then pulled them out, painted them white. I taped off just enough space at the bottom and the top to add in some gray. I used like a medium steel gray color and then dry brushed over that with the dark elephant color, and it just looks so much like cement and like a real planter. I just loved these so much. I'm sharing here how chalk paint works really good on glass. I can never get it to scratch off after you let it really set and dry for a few hours. It dries pretty quickly, but it will kind of like cure to the glass and just be really sturdy and on there so you cannot get it off. But I do like to use my painter's tape to give it kind of like a dipped look. Plants are something that I definitely spend way too much money on, or I will say like artificial plants. I never buy like real house plants just because I don't have great luck with them. But these just look really good, and I was trying to go for something that like you would see more at like Home Goods or TJ Maxx, how they always have like those really nice planters. And Dollar Tree had put out some super nice succulents that were like bigger than last time. So I was able to add in some rocks and then put in these large succulent picks, and they were super easy to do but look really nice. I tried to do a different design on the second one, so I painted it around the top, and then I took a permanent marker and just kind of drew a little ivy design. But I think both of them turned out really cute, and I am still going to put them out this year. They still look really good and the paint is holding up really well. I love crafting with Sharpies, especially like there's something about a brand new Sharpie. It works so good. The only thing is whenever you are using a permanent marker, make sure you are super careful if you're going to seal this. I'm going to leave these pots as is, but if you do try to put some type of spray clear over the top of it, then the Sharpie has a great chance of bleeding, and I've ruined so many projects like that, so don't go down that hole. But I think these turned out so cute, and like I said, definitely something I'll be bringing out again this year. This is one of my all-time favorites. I just love this project so much. I always pick up Dollar Tree's rectangular signs, several of them whenever I see them, because they are so perfect to turn around and connect them together, and you can make like large decor pieces on a budget. So this one turned out gorgeous. I was on a mission to try to create some new shapes, just because we can't find Dollar Tree items, or you're waiting on like Dollar Tree items to make certain things and you just can't find what works. So I was going to try to cut what I wanted out of cardboard, and it worked super great. So for the backing, I am making this sign. I pieced these together with some jumbo popsicle sticks. I usually use the super giant or jumbo ones from Walmart, but this is all I had on hand at the time, so I was able to connect these two signs together. And then I've learned that you don't have to put the hot glue in between them, and it won't kind of ooze out and make a mess in the front of the sign, so I quit doing that. But I did go ahead and paint this with my steel colored paint. I do want this to look like gray rustic barnwood or really weathered faux wood, so I start with a medium color, and then I'm going to go ahead and add in my little shiplap lines or planks of wood using a paint marker, as well as one of these Dollar Tree levels, which I love, and then I'll be able to dry brush over that with some gray and light gray to get more of the look I'm going for. I saw so many prints and signs that had like little white pictures on them for Farmhouse, so that's what I was going for. I wanted something to create this shape, and like I said, I couldn't find anything at Dollar Tree, so I knew I had to make this myself. But I discovered you can cut whatever you want out of cardboard as long as you fill in the edges. So I used wood filler and kind of pushed it into the edges of the cardboard so you wouldn't be able to see that pattern and know that it's cardboard whenever it's hanging on the wall. And I was able to create this gorgeous little picture, which worked perfect. No one has ever noticed or will ever be able to tell that it is just cardboard, and it was just perfect to add into this design. I cut it out. I did just slice through the handle because I was able to fill all that back in, but mostly trying to get the shape. I did freehand this, so I was able to go back in and just kind of touch it up where I saw that it needed it. But I feel like this was really fun, and something that I'm going to keep doing this year is making some more of my own little shapes out of cardboard, because this works really well. These eucalyptus leaves came from Walmart, but I just picked up some of the eucalyptus garland from Dollar Tree, so I am so excited to use that. That would work perfect on this project, so it would make it even more inexpensive than what I paid for this. I did need a little bit of space so the stems would tuck down inside of this picture or look like they're in there. So I did kind of raise this up on some of the tower blocks. I dry brushed over that with gray to give it a little bit of texture. And then, if you know me, I always have to add that little bit of extra detail. So I added just a super simple little twine bow, but it was exactly what I was going for. I think this turned out really cute, and I still have this hanging up. So I just love it so much. So definitely something that I use every day, or I display every day. Another really cool but high-end project were this set of signs that were just to go kind of like on either side of a big farmhouse sign. So they're just really cute. I left these signs separate, and then I'm using some of Dollar Tree's windmills, which I have already seen out this year, so make sure you pick up a couple if you see them because they go super fast. But I just removed the tags and the hangers off of these signs, painted them white, and then I had picked up at Hobby Lobby these little wooden planks. They were just like the perfect like thickness and width, so I just had to cut them like lengthwise. So I tried to make up my own little stain. Sometimes if you water down paint, like it looks really good and more like stain. I tried to get a lighter color on there, and I just wasn't loving it. I did go ahead and let these dry, cut them down, and then dried brush over them with a darker brown, and it ended up looking really good in the end. I just didn't like that middle color. And these are so easy, like all of the paint sticks and thin little woods to cut by scoring with a utility knife. This is my favorite way if you're not using a saw. And trimmed all of these down, and they worked perfect to go on the top and the bottom to kind of make like little decorative scrolls for each of these signs. After dry brushing, I always love going over the sign with a piece of sandpaper just to give it the texture and make it look more realistic, and it also lightens up those places that got a little heavy with paint. And then I chose the little windmills that were on the hanger, but the stake one would work too. I was able just to kind of pop this off of there, and then using a wire cutter, I picked these up from Walmart, or they have them on Amazon, but they're like a jewelry plier kit, and they work perfect for little projects like this. And I thought it'd be really cute to put the windmill on there. I used to have to DIY all the time, make windmills out of everything, but so I was so happy whenever Dollar Tree put out this little metal windmill, which is perfect for projects. I did go ahead and pick up a couple extra for this year, and then I thought these little boxes would work perfect to look like little planters, so I painted them gray so they would go along with my sign. I love incorporating all of the neutrals and using the wood tones as well as the different grays. And then I was able to glue everything down and then put some little greenery or boxwood greenery in there. So this just looks and screams farmhouse to me. I love how these turned out. I added in nautical rope hangers, the jute rope from Dollar Tree for the hangers, and it's just so beautiful. It's full of texture and just one of my favorite projects. No lie, I was obsessed with making planters, and I feel like so was everyone else on YouTube. A ton of different people made a different style of planters, which is always so fun because you can see everyone's take on them. But I was able to find this textured pot or planter from the Dollar Tree, and I had not seen these before, and this was the only one that was there. So I'm not sure if they had different like styles, but I went ahead and painted it white to get rid of that clay color, but I wanted the white to be down in the grooves, so I'm taking a flat sponge brush, which I never use these for regular painting, but I was trying to paint it as flat as I could so that none of the paint would go down in the grooves, and I really want that white to kind of pop out. I love the texture on this and just how it ended up looking after the paint had dried. This is something I hope Dollar Tree comes back out with. This year is more of these little, I think they were called wreath charms, but they're little wooden circles. I use them on a ton of projects. They were so handy just to have, but I was able to make a little plant stand, super simple, just using that little circle piece of wood, as well as some of these tower blocks. I glued 4 of them just on all sides and tried to keep them at the same height. And then I was able to paint, and then I painted the entire base with a dark brown color and then went over that with black, and it made the cutest little stand. I love this so much. I am using some more of my favorite Walmart boxwood for the plant, but Dollar Tree already has out some gorgeous new flowers that I think are so beautiful, and they have like realistic looking leaves. And then I sprinkled in some of these tiny little rocks. The only thing I said in this video is I wish I would have put some type of like Mod Podge over the rocks to give them more of like a glued down shiny finish, like the plants that you see at TJ Maxx and Home Goods. But I feel like this is such like a nice looking plant that looks like you would actually purchase from a store. So you would never, no one would ever know that this was using Dollar Tree items. It just looks so beautiful and high end to me, and definitely something that I've kept out all year and plan to use all of this year. Like I said, my laundry room video did super good, and you guys also loved this DIY, which was super simple. Using one of the spring or Easter bunny signs, I removed all of the 3D pieces, but mostly I was just wanting this long plank of a sign. This just looks so good, and I paired this with real wood, but you could leave as is. I filled in the holes with some of Dollar Tree's spackle, let that dry, and then I painted this sign white, and then using another one of those Dollar Tree decals, another laundry room one, which I thought this was really cute and already looked so farmhouse, I was able just to stick it down on there. And then like I said, I always have wood stacked up in our garage. We used to make a ton of stuff, and then my husband's always messing with stuff out there, so we just always have like extra boards. And we had this really nice just like, I call it scrap, but it's not really scrap wood. We would use it for good things, but I thought it fit perfect. I had him cut it down the length that I needed, and then I stained this with some of the dark walnut. I'm always super cautious whenever I am handling this because I do not want it to get it on my hands, especially for filming, because then it just looks gross the entire rest of the time. But I took an old brush that I didn't care to lose, painted this all over the board, and then wiped it up with it was either a paper towel or old cloth, and soaked up some of that. And it does look a little orange in the video, but after I got the sign on there and it dried, it was really dark and I loved it so much. I just had to hot glue that down, and then you can use this as a hanging sign or even just something to stand, because it will stand like on a shelf. But just really fun project to make. No one would ever once again believe that you made this using Dollar Tree items. It is so high end, and like I said, it would still look really good even if you didn't put the backing on. You could still find a way to frame it, or I don't know, just hang it up with nautical rope, but it just looks really good. My 5 genius ways to decorate your home with old books did really well. You guys seem to love that idea, and I love putting these videos together because it kind of makes me like think a ton of different ways to use the same item. But I love like picking up books that are not really interesting to me because I don't like to take apart my older books, obviously. So I cut some of the pages out and cut them into strips, Mod Podge them down on this planter. It did leave a little bit of the raw edging around the top, so I do take some extra of my jute twine and hot glue that down around the top so that it does match the top that is wrapped in the jute twine. Just cutting them at different angles so that they will kind of overlap and lay. But I love how it looks like decorating with book pages, and how the black and white or the black and kind of cream pages just mix with farmhouse decor. Just definitely something that I love, and I think it looks so pretty. I ordered a pack of these large vintage keys from Amazon a couple of years ago, and I've just been using them forever, but they are so beautiful, especially paired with these vintage looking book pages. But I took the same kind of jute twine and made it dangle from the edge, and then put a little jute twine bow over the top of that, and then I stuck in just some more boxwood. But I love the simplicity, yet how detailed and beautiful this looks. Just a really fun, beautiful project to go with like neutral decor. It is so funny to me that this video did so good, that you guys seem to really enjoy this project, because I really didn't think it was one of my favorites. But I do still enjoy it and have it somewhere. I'm not really for sure where it's at this second. But I am doing kind of the same thing I did before, piecing 2 signs together to get a larger sign, filled in the holes with some spackle. I love filling in that large split with spackle, and you cannot tell that this is 2 signs pieced together, especially after you are painting it. But in this project, I was trying to use the floating shelves, which I know that was a super popular item from Dollar Tree whenever they came out. I love distressing the edges and letting some of that darker sign shine through the corners. It looks so beautiful and scratching off a lot of the paint. I did pair this with a large thankful sign I picked up from Hobby Lobby. You definitely have to check out Hobby Lobby's wooden section. They have tons of inexpensive words, and they really up your game and make your crafts look so much nicer versus using Dollar Tree stickers all the time if you're making Dollar Tree items. And then once again, I'm trying to make a little mixture of some brown paints as well as water to get that stained effect. But I'm going to try out some new products this year to try to get more of a stain look without using stain. I just feel like stain's really stinky. I do use it a lot, but I do create most of my crafts in my home with young kids, and I just don't like bringing in the smell all the time. But I glued that to the top, and then for the little floating shelf, I am going to hot glue that down and add in a Dollar Tree candle as well as some boxwood, and this came from Walmart once again. This is a popular item. I've used this in a ton of my DIYs I am sharing today. Cut away the stems and then just decorated up the little candle. But this was a really cool project and something that I could see trying to create in a different style using the floating shelf again. I tried to pick out my top videos or projects that did really well that weren't so seasonal. But this one is a fall DIY, but you could create this because I have seen that Dollar Tree is bringing these out again. I just saw a huge box of them at my Dollar Tree this past week, and I'm regretting not picking up some extra because when I was making this video, this was one of the projects that was like at the top of the list that did really, really well. But you could create this for spring. So like create the little white wooden fence part and then just decorate it with more of like spring flowers. You could even like just tie this around the little fence with a piece of wire so that you could change this out for every season. But definitely one of my favorite things. I took 5 of those little wedding signs and then one of Walmart's like wooden stakes that you're supposed to put like garage sale signs I think on, and cut that down to size. I did paint this with a base dark paint so that I could kind of like not really dry brush it because I'm really putting a lot of white paint on there, but I am like painted it white, but the dark brown will show through and make it look a little bit more rustic or weathered. And then Dollar Tree did put out these family signs. I know some people thought that it looked like the A was a U, so you could pick out your sign from anywhere else. But I know that some people are showing that Dollar Tree is putting out larger words in like metal and wood, and then they are putting out some wood letters. So I'm so excited to see what all of the new items are going to be this year. But I painted that with the dark. And then I sanded down the edges, and then like I said, I'm putting some fall floral pieces. These are from Walmart, but and I cannot wait to see what Walmart puts out for their spring floral. I do think that this would be really pretty to go with spring and something that would even look really cute for Easter. You could put rabbits on it, but something definitely to keep in mind whenever you are decorating for spring, because a really easy, inexpensive project, but it is on the larger side and you get a lot more of a statement piece. So I've already got myself all inspired and want to go back and find some more of those signs so that I can make a spring version of this because I think it would be so beautiful. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with me today. This video was so much fun to go back through and see all of the projects that I made, especially which ones did best and what you guys like the best. It's so funny because whenever you are making these, you don't know like which ones are going to do the best. Some of my favorite ones have like not gotten any views, and then ones that I'm kind of iffy about or like almost change into something else do really good. So it's so funny. So I love hearing from you all. Let me know which one of today's projects was your favorite. I kind of put them in order of my favorites, I guess, along with everybody else's favorites, so it kind of just worked out that way. But I had a lot of fun going back through these, and I just feel so inspired and ready to get crafting. Let me know if you've been crafting on anything or if you need a little bit of a break after Christmas. Seriously, I'm ready to just start cranking out videos. Like, I am into Valentine decor. I have a few projects made for a video later this week, and then I have some really fun stuff planned, and then a couple like different video ideas that I want to try out on my channel and see if you guys like those as well. So don't forget to leave me a comment telling me what you would love to see. I get a ton of questions about my craft room and requests to see that, and I definitely will share that when it gets done, but it probably will be several more weeks because I still need flooring and trim and stuff, but excited to share that with you all. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy crafting. Bye!